Cloud. There we go. We are on.
Got it. All right. Who wants to introduce their character then?
I'm happy to jump in. So my name is Henrik. Tonight I'm going to be playing a little melee dwarf who's going to act as tank and meat shield to someone else who's going to do all the work. He's a lazy bastard. He's old and cranky, and that's how he's going to get played. But he's also well known for doing what's necessary when needed.
Okay. My name's Adam. I'm playing a blaster character, which I think will complement the tank, or I'm hoping that it will. We'll say his name is Rolf, and he is a young guy who is in awe of his mentor, who is following around and trying to learn from the cranky old bastard.
Oh, jeez. I never said I was a role model. All right.
I never said he was a good student either. So,
awesome.
So based on your builds, what do you expect in your characters to play like tonight?
I'm expecting Rolf to fill this, ranged attack role and help out the tank where he can. I'm gonna hope that I can do some support from the rear, as bad as that sounds.
I just hope to hold him back while my squishy friend blows him to smithereens.
Yes.
So everybody sees the map here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys were sent on a mission. There has been, that here in the Crystal Waste, there are a lot of people that do mining in the caves over here. And recently, within the last several days, they've been attacked by a large creature that has basically caused them to abandon their carts and their goods and flee for their lives back to town. So they've hired you guys to come in and take out the threat that is attacking caravans on their way out of the marsh, or out of the waste here. You're coming into this road and you get reports that, actually, let me just zoom back in because that'll be easier, that it's going to be in this northeast region. So you come around to about right here.
There we go.
Okay, so you guys came in from this north region, and you were told that in this northeast area is where the disturbances happen. They were attacked coming up from the mines here on the south. You see the little shaded areas, which is undercover. There's a box canyon area with an arid desert. You know that there's some water down south, but that's not what you're here for. Not here to play at the beach today. So coming over in this area, you see that it opens up quite a bit. You do see some ruined carts and a couple bags that are kind of half buried in sand. But you figure that this is probably going to be a good place to start your investigation. How do you want to proceed?
I know that one of our move preferences in the past has been something like dodge, move in terms of spinning our actions so that if we do get surprised, we're less likely to get whapped on the head.
Okay. Also, well, if you want to be cautious like that, you can take the opportunity to activate one of your concentration effects.
Yeah, before we walk in here. Adam, you have any questions about any of your concentration effects that you want to
I don't know what they are exactly. I've got... I don't know if I've got any. Blood Curse or Reeve maybe.
No, that would be a passive. That's just always on.
In the second column, do you have any that actually say concentration on them?
No, I've got no. They all just say the name and then how many points they are.
Okay.
Oh wait, you're talking about from this other document. Let me check.
Yeah, from the other document. Sorry, I cut and paste the details into my character sheet so I could.
I did not do that. I probably should have. Let me find it here.
Of note to you, Henrik, he does have pack tactics trained as an elf.
Okay, and then
so whatever he's attacking, you're going to have advantage to attack.
So let me ask a question while Adam's looking there. Defensive stance says a resist melee or ranged attacks. Can you remind me how that works again? Resist.
It would be like you're dodging. Only the difference is that you're going to put your, yeah, you're already considered dodging versus melee or ranged without having to spend the action to do that.
Does dodging double down on that?
No.
Okay, so technically defensive stance lets me dodge essentially for free after I've turned it on, but
Yes,
has more limited applications either for melee stuff or it's for ranged stuff.
correct.
Okay, well, I don't see anybody standing in front of me, so my default's going to be turning on defensive stance for ranged stuff, and then I will switch it to melee when it goes to melee.
I do believe your shield gives you access to the shield wall concentration effect as well, but for traveling overland, that's probably not very
Yeah, can
viable.
you help me understand what that concentration effect says? Cover plus 1 DR, but my movement speed is halved.
Yeah, so it's you're always have cover because your shield's up, and you get a +1 to your DR, but you only move at half speed.
How does cover differ from resisting ranged attacks?
Like if someone's shooting you with an arrow,
Mm-hmm.
they can't hit what they can't see. You got cover.
Okay, so I have cover from stuff in front of me, but not necessarily from behind.
Correct.
Okay. Well, so I'll probably switch that at some point.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any fancy stuff like that. I do have pack tactics, which doesn't help me here. I've got a parry action, which I guess I can be ready to do in case somebody attacks me. That's probably
So
the
that'll
best
be
I
a
can do.
reaction. So
Okay.
whenever you use it, you could parry the damage, and
Okay.
that'll take against your turns for the next turn.
Okay.
All right, so moving into
all right.
this area,
Yeah,
how do you
so
guys want to proceed?
I mean, I do the thing I usually do, which is stand in front of this guy and advance towards whatever it is we need to advance towards. Trying to keep an eyeball out.
I'll follow alertly, looking around and trying to be perceptive.
You guys notice the screen get a little bit?
Yes, it moved.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we're all in sync then. All right.
How
So
big are these squares? What's the
5 feet.
distance? Okay.
1 meter, whatever you want to call it. They're human-sized squares.
This is a pretty big area then.
Yes. And you
Okay.
see a ruined cart right here. You see
the dark brown next to us, is that like raised rocks?
Yes, it is a raised rock that you could probably climb up on. The dark black is going to be raised canyon walls that take
Okay, so
much more effort to scale.
okay,
Climb
so
up on that brown
sharp,
rock and see what we can see. Maybe.
vertical. Okay, yeah, and I'll advance towards the cart and stuff.
You want to
We'll
climb
go
up here?
Yeah, I'll climb up there and be a target. Look at me on this rock.
He always does that.
Sounds good. So you guys want to give me a perception check?
Yeah,
Didn't even bring your ghillie suit this time, did you?
I did not. Left that sniper rifle at home. I rolled a 9.
And what's your perception?
My perception is a 4.
Okay. So that's a fail. Basically you're going to want to meet your number or go underneath of it.
Okay.
So a 9 out of 4 is going to be a fail. You do see the cart, you see the bags that are kind of half buried in sand. You see another outcropping of rock over here into the south. You know, you really can't see a whole lot of differentiation. Like you wouldn't be able to see these caves over here just because of your angle. But you get a good view of everything, but you don't really notice any fine details.
Yeah. Looks good. Proceed.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll advance up to the carts.
Okay. All right here.
Yep. Eyeballing around. These things look like they've been plundered, attacked by animals.
Do you want to do anything special like perception, investigate, anything like that?
Yeah. So I'll be investigating. I rolled a 7 under 8.
All right, that sounds good. So coming up here, you obviously see the carts. You see that the wheels have been busted. But getting a little bit closer, you see that it looks like one of the wheels have been snapped in half with a clean, almost serrated blow.
Okay.
And
I
you see that these bags have been thrown about, but it looks like they're covered from sand. And with your investigation check, it doesn't look like they were wind blown. It looks like they've kind of been very hastily, haphazardly, and not with any great intention, semi-buried by something else.
All right. And our
Um,
goal today is to clear out the threat, not to recover goods.
Correct. Of course,
All right.
bringing them home on the way back probably would do you favors. While you're investigating, this idea that these things have been kind of semi-buried, you notice that there are indentions in the sand, as almost as if something had dug down.
Oh, that
Crap.
sucks.
I start checking my feet. I can't remember if I'm supposed to walk with no rhythm or pound the sand or just yell at the damn thing to come out already.
Who's seen Tremors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam's seen Tremors. He's got the
Yeah.
right idea.
Yeah. They changed how they work a couple movies in.
But we don't talk about that. That never happened.
I don't know. We might got some sort of sand. I'm saying this loud and over my shoulder. Like I think we got some sort of creepy crawlers under the sand situation here.
Can I see anything like moving in sand or?
Not with your perception skill. Like I said, you
Okay.
get a pretty good overview of what's out there, but some of the finer details, I don't know if maybe it's the way the sun's hitting the sand. You see that there's a little bit harder packed sand, and then it's a lot looser over here. Just the glare from that's really obscuring you from making out any finite details.
Ooh, I have. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say if I change position on the rock, I don't know. That's what I probably would try.
While he's switching positions, I'm going to move forward. It turns out I have a passive it's called alertness. It says I have advantage on spotting traps and ambushes. So that's what I'm keeping an eyeball out for, right? Like the hairs in the back of my neck are going up. I think something's underneath me or around here. And I'm wondering what's going on. But I'm going to move forward to that most forward position. That's
like about right here.
To the yellow thing that's sort of below and to the right. Yeah.
Up here.
Yep.
Okay. Don't freak out, guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking around.
Oh.
More than I'm not.
Don't freak out. It's one of the problems with Illustrator. All right. So we're zooming in. Adam, what are you doing here? You're going to be.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So with that, Adam, you've gotten a really good position. You kind of adjusted your eyes to deal with the glare from the sand. Henrik was talking about ambushes, and you're like, maybe I should start looking for ambushes. He mentioned about the sand. So I'm going to give you both a chance to roll your perception again. Henrik, you're going to have advantage this time.
Aha! I got a 2.
Yay, that's a critical.
Yeah, well, that's a lot better because I got the opposite. I think I kicked some sand in my own eyes.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I got distracted by brownies and ice cream. Middle of the desert's best time.
Okay, so Adam, you see little divots of sand moving towards Henrik's position.
Okay, so I'm gonna call out to him,
When
Henrik.
they get a little bit closer, they seem to kind of split as if they're going for a pincer attack.
Okay, I'm gonna call out to him and warn him. To the north of you here, like 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you're being pincer moved. And can I see a target?
You see the divots in the sand, definitely.
want to try to blast one of those if I can.
I'm gonna give you a disadvantage to do that because they are underneath the ground, but you
Yeah.
feel free. Do you want to do this one
Okay.
closest to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So roll your, what is it, your ranged roll?
Okay, so I rolled a 5, and my ranged is an 8.
Okay, so with disadvantage, it's going to be a +2, bringing you up to a 7 of 8, which is still actually a hit. So roll damage. That's believe heavy damage will be 3d3.
3d3. Okay, so let's try that then. And can I change this to, okay. What happens here? How about this? Oh, okay, right. D3. Yeah, okay. I'm using an online dice roll. I'm trying to figure out the how to change the die, which I've done. So it looks like 2, 3, 1. So 6.
6 damage. Okay. So you hit this, and right where it's at, it bursts out of the sand with a loud screech. These an insectoid creature looks kind of like a scorpion and a lobster with armor. They don't look happy. As they go along, the other ones move a little bit closer on Henrik, and he is unable to notice them, but this one does stay in place. And we will go into combat. So what is your reflex?
Me?
Everybody.
Oh, reflex. So what? Tell me again. What can I do with my reflex?
That's
what
what
kind
you're
of
going to
action?
use to dodge stuff.
He just
But
wants
for
to
right now,
remember.
that determines your initiative order.
Okay. Oh, mine's 5.
And mine's 4. So we know Mr. Blaster's going for it.
All right. All right. So the bad guys are going to go first, followed by Adam and then Henrik. So with that, these 3 jump out of the sand and they all take swings at you, Henrik. That's 1. That's a lot of misses. 2 hits, 1 crit. And this one is also going to move up to you. So let me roll damage for you. The first hit is going to be a 3. 3 damage. And the second one is going to be 4 damage, and that's the crit.
So I have heavy armor, which is GR2, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to take 1 and then 2 damage.
Okay.
Also means I move really slow. Holy fudge. I forgot about that part. All right, so I'm gonna put 3 slashes on my character sheet out of 20.
Adam,
Right.
you are up. You
Yeah,
saw these creatures. The
mhm.
one that you hit, it came out of the sand and finished its way to Henrik, the rest of the way above the sand. These 3 just burst from the sand at his feet and just started attacking wildly with their pincers. And it looks like he got hit a couple times, but he seems to have shrugged off a lot of that damage.
Okay. I've got this thing in my character sheet called Element Burst. Now
Yes.
I'm wondering if that is the same as Force Burst or Line. Is that a area effect?
It is.
Okay. If I cast that, can I keep from hitting Henrik?
Depends on what's the range on it.
The range is medium. B1-2.
So you could get it if you came off your rock,
Mhm.
you could probably, and if you came to about right here,
Mhm.
you could drop it here and get these 3.
All right. I would like to do that.
So move action to come down here, and then you cast your spell, which is going to be a potency check.
Okay. Let me roll that. Potency is, oh, I think that's good. I rolled a 1, and my potency is a 10.
That is very good. So if you have any critical effects, you can add them. Otherwise, it's just a flat 2 damage.
Critical effects. Where would I find that? Oh, I've got just
Like Dispel is a passive critical effect, but
I
you
do
really
have-
don't need that one.
I've got Dispel and Disrupt.
Disrupt is going to be a reaction.
Okay. Element Burst, Elemental Blast, Obscuring Mist, Blood Curse, and Reeve. That's it.
Okay, so yeah, Dispel would be the only critical effect that you could use, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell
Probably
you,
wouldn't help me.
probably not going to help you on this one.
All right.
So we're just going to do damage. All right. So
Could I cast it instead of in the back? Could I cast it where it would hit the top 3 and not the bottom one? Because I've already damaged the one right there to his 12 o'clock.
It's a
Like-
burst 1 effect, right? So to get the 3 of
Um,
them, you would hit Henrik as well.
Okay, well, I don't want to do that.
So basically, your template is going to look like this.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to drop it with the center of that, kind of on the back end of the one in the middle up there and try to get those 3 kind of in that L shape. Hopefully, but if you think that's too dangerous, I don't want to smoke Henrik in the process here.
So here's the thing. I've got DR of 2, and assuming we've worked together in the past, I've told you to just go ahead and drop the bomb
Oh,
on.
great.
It works great.
Okay, well then I would probably try to target the top 3 because one
Right.
of them is damaged already.
But then
And
I tell
then
you, don't expect to talk to me for the next few hours. I
Hmm.
don't have to like it.
Yeah, but you'll be alive. You can bitch at me later.
That's right. And we are back on. All right. So, Bird, what Ab and I were discussing is that we know each other. I know more or less how effective this spell is. And my belief is that if he just lays it straight on top of me, I might go deaf for a little bit, but it'll work just fine and I'll be okay because I have DR2. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
All right.
So you
he's
want to
gonna
go ahead
drop-
and go for that?
Yeah, he's going to just drop it on my head, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna just drop it there. I'd like to try to get some damage on the one that I've already damaged.
Okay. Before you do that, give me a mage check.
A mage check. Okay. 5 out of 7.
Okay, so you know that the earth crystals, which the people were harvesting they store and reflect, and they're used in elemental. Oh, babe, I love you. They're used to create elemental weapons and armor. If you cast a force burst, because you know that this thing probably has earth crystals, might have an unpredictable effect. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Because you're so strong of an evocation wizard, you know that it'll probably be a lot bigger burst than you were expecting.
Oh, what if I move it up 1 square, 1 row? Would that matter?
Here,
Yeah, to there.
and then you get the 3 plus Hendrik and not get this guy down here.
If that would keep from an explosion that's going to kill Henrik, yes.
And then and again, I don't want to take over. Like, you could get all 3 of these and not hurt any of them. But if you're really trying to get that one, I understand why you would do this.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I was thinking if I could handle the 3 and kind of keep him off of him a little bit, then he would really just be having to fight the one, maybe while the other 3 are burning in this elemental blast, screaming for their lives.
Sure. You do it however you
Blow 'em
want.
up.
I just wanted to throw that out there to make sure,
Okay.
because with your
All right.
mage check, you kind of get that tactical sense of these are my options, and all of them are viable.
Okay.
Do it.
So you're gonna roll your damage +2 because you've got a critical on that.
Is that a 3d3 again, right?
Yeah.
3, 6, 9.
No, a D3.
Oh, 1d3.
Yeah, light
3.
damage.
3 plus what you said?
+2 for critical.
5.
So 5 damage to all of these guys plus a Henrik.
Sorry,
Henrik,
Henrik.
you're gonna take yours at
That's okay.
-2.
Yeah. I told him to lay it on me. This is our standard tactic. Every once in a while it hurts.
So this one here in the top is not looking very well. I'm going to bring this effect over here just in case we need it again. This guy up here is not looking so happy. These two, a little bit worse for wear. And this guy here at the bottom is undamaged.
Okay.
So now that was you moved, you cast, you have one more action, Adam.
Can I hold that action and use it later, like bank it, or should I do something with it now?
I don't know what else you'd bank it for.
Okay.
Like if you
well,
want to move
then
closer or if you want to
I
take
don't
the
want to
dodge
move closer.
action. You take the dodge
Um,
action.
Well, nobody's attacking me, so that wouldn't help me, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can I blast again in this turn?
No, you've already used your special action. You could do a weapon attack, but I don't
Okay.
think you have a ranged weapon.
My weapon is I have a rod and a spear. I do have a spear. It says I can pole vault, spear twirl, or yeah, charge breaker. I guess I can't throw the spear.
So you can shoot this at medium range once per round, once per turn, and that would not be a special attack. So yeah, you could shoot for 2d3 damage.
Okay, I'll use the one I've already hit up there that's closest
Sure.
to me. I'll try that one. All right. So
So
let me-
roll your ranged range check.
I rolled a 3 out of what's my ranged?
8.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's
3
going
out
to
of
be
8.
another critical. So roll 2d3 plus your plus 2 damage.
Does he have another crit effect maybe available to what he's doing here?
No,
Plus what you said?
plus 2 for critical.
So I think I heard
2d3 plus 2.
5 total.
5 damage total?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blood and guts all over the place.
And that's exactly what happens. As a matter of fact, give me a world turning check, Henrik.
Oh, this is fun. Oh, you're gonna make me do
So
it.
there's random stuff. The world is a living, breathing organism. Making this world turning check is basically like an exterior tension die to see what's going on in the world. It's kind of luck. Actually, I would let you do your kismet check if you would prefer.
I already rolled.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 1, so I'm
You
pretty
rolled
happy
a
right now.
1 is great. That's a
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So this thing explodes. Actually, you would know. Nothing happens. It explodes.
Well, I am
Something else happens, but I'm not going to tell you because you didn't check.
so Bird. My concept skills apparently are alchemist and provisioner.
Correct. You're a
so,
crafty dwarf.
So if anything interesting happens in the way of the craftability of whatever it is that just went into bits, let me know. All right. Is it my turn?
It is your turn. You have 3 actions.
All right, fantastic. So this hammer has an effect called Hurricane Hammer, attack every creature in a B1. Can I attack just the creatures and not hit the barrel?
It's not a barrel, it's a sack, and it's kind of half buried. I would say that, yeah, you could aim a little bit high. If it was a creature, then yeah, like if it was Adam, he'd be in your thing. But since it's
Adam's gonna get hit.
half buried sack in the sand, I'll say that you could probably avoid it.
Okay.
As a provisioner, you know that hitting them with a hammer wouldn't be the same as casting a spell effect on them.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah.
So then I'm going to use Hurricane Hammer as my attack. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my concentration effect from defensive stance for ranged to defensive stance for melee.
Okay, so that's
the first thing I'll do. Then I'll do the hammer thing, and then we'll see if there's anything left to do.
Sounds good.
All right. So change my concentration effect. Don't have to do anything for that. In terms of rolling, I'm going to roll for Hurricane Hammer and pray. Fudge. However, I'm attacking the same target as my buddy. Is that right? And he
You
has pack
are, so you would
tactics.
get pack tactics.
That's true.
Fantastic, because I rolled a 9, which is higher than 8, but thanks to pack tactics, I think that's a 7.
That sounds about right.
So I went from a miss to a hit. Thank you very much.
Yay,
Love
teamwork.
it.
Teamwork does make the dream work, in fact.
All right.
Yeah.
Attention to detail, teamwork is
Hurricane Hammer says S, so that's a special. But I don't know what I'm. Oh, do I do 2d3 damage? Is that right?
That is correct. And that'll be to everybody.
All right. So first D3, that's max. Second D3, that's min. So 4.
4 damage. All right, excellent. And when you hit this thing, the crystals actually explode. I'm just playing. I'm not that gotcha idiom. I'm joking. I'm joking. All right. So this guy is looking really, really rough with 4 damage plus the 5. Actually, yeah, this guy's barely hanging on. This guy's taking some damage, and this guy's not looking so good either. What's
So-
you doing with your last action?
So I think I still have an attack left, but I'm gonna shield wall would give me an extra DR, but then I wouldn't be getting the boost to my defenses that the defensive stance gives me, right? So defensive stance is making it harder for them to hit me, so to speak, but shield wall would take that away, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick with the defensive stance, and I'm gonna beat on the one that looks the worst off and see whether I can't end him.
Okay, going after the top one. Make it
Yeah,
happen.
so with a normal attack, I roll a 2.
Sounds like
which-
a crit to
which
me.
Potentially
Do you have
becomes
any
a
critical
0. I thought I did. Let me think. No, I guess I don't. Thought I did.
I'm
but
looking
I
over your
don't.
character sheet.
Passive.
And I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not casting any spells, so no. Doesn't look like it. That's what I should pick up. I'm gonna go get one in between this and the next scene. Oh, bell ringer. Passive crit, stun target.
There's nothing left to stun.
Okay, yeah. He done been
But
stunned.
yeah, that's a good one. That's why you
Yeah.
have the hammer.
Okay. I'm donezo.
All right. All right, back at the top of the order. It is these guys. And they are going to stand in place and bury themselves in the sand. If you have any kind of a reactionary ability that gives you an attack in passing, now would be that time.
No. So they sort of disappear into the sand, and I'm looking and I'm hot footing it, and I'm trying to tell whether they're sticking around or taking off.
When we get to your turn, you could do an investigation.
For sure.
Right now, you see the rumbling. You saw them kind of going on the surface coming at you. There's like little sand lines moving towards you. It appears that they've dug straight down. So you don't see any movement. Adam, that's going to bring us to you.
Yeah. Well, so what I'm thinking, Heinrich, is if you hot-footed out of there, I could blast that bag and we could cause a giant explosion and maybe kill him underground.
Nathan explosion. All right.
Or we're going to die.
Yeah, or we might die. I'm almost
Either would be exciting.
I'm wondering. This is more me than my character. Like, take the bag with us, start throwing crystals at things, and have you blow them up when we need them blown up.
That's probably smarter. But
hey, Henrik, you remember how barrel bombs work?
Yeah.
But as we walk through here now, they're going to be around, right? Like we know they're there, so we're going to.
You know they're here, and they don't scare me that bad.
Okay.
I mean, I say you get back up on the rock, keep an eye out, and if they pop back up, you did a good job of hitting one when he was still in the sand. These guys are hurt.
Okay.
And, let's scavenge for a minute, see what needs to be salvaged. You said something about don't don't hit that bag, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that you got a bag here and a bag here and a cart here. One of the carts, like I said, have been cleanly
our wheels
one
sort
of
of
the
been
wheels
cleanly
are
snapped in
cleanly
half,
cut.
right? Yeah.
Based on what you saw of those sand critters,
Uh-huh.
it seems like it could have been from one of the pincers, but not one
Right.
of their pincers. It would have been something
A lot bigger.
a lot bigger.
So what was described to us? What is the thing that we're after here? The thing that we're trying to stop?
It
getting-
wasn't described. There was a monster attack. The people that described the monster didn't give it a very specific description. They're like, "Oh my god, it's after us!" And they just like as soon as the thing happened, they got thrown from the car and they fled. They didn't look back. They didn't hang around. They didn't take notes, get a
So
description or anything.
we
At
were
least not that
either
they gave you.
bored, drunk, or being paid really, really well. Which is it?
What do you mean?
Well,
What I mean is we don't know anything about what we're going after. So either we were bored, drunk, or we're getting paid really well not to know anything and go after this problem.
Maybe all three.
Maybe all three.
So what we do know is up in the corner
It doesn't
to
have
the
to be a
right,
mutually exclusive situation.
Yeah.
that there's softer sand up there in the corner. So
All right, everybody,
probably,
close your eyes. Close your eyes.
so yeah, while we're not looking up there in the
Yeah.
right, there's that softer sand. So
Okay, open your
probably
eyes.
something bigger is up there. It's probably in this corner, I would guess.
Well, I think we were told that are we looking here in the northeast sector, or are we supposed to go to a different sector? I thought
This is where the attacks happened, as
this is where the
evidenced
text
by
happened. Okay.
the cart and the bags that have been thrown.
All right. So let's take a couple minutes. Let's I'll root through the bags while you provide cover.
Okay.
See if there's anything worth taking. If we figure out we've got explodo crystals, we're gonna bring those with us and potentially throw them at things and have you blow them up as needed. And figure out
Much
what
time
else
are
we
you gonna
find
take?
here. Like no more than 5 minutes. This is just as like a quick look in the bag. What is it? Look at the next thing. What is it? If
Yeah,
it's
they're sacks full of earth crystals.
both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And there's another sack on the wagon.
what happens if I fall down on top of an earth crystal? Do I blow up?
No.
No. Okay. So it takes Adam's
Give me a
force
provisioner
spell.
check, please.
All right. I'm pretty sure that if I pee on it, it will dissolve. I rolled an 8 out of 7.
Okay.
How do these things work? I know how to make them go away, but not in a fun and interesting way.
You know that they are used in crafting weapons and armor with elemental properties.
Okay. But Adam knows something about blowing them up.
Adam
Yes.
knows from his mage check that if they're because of their properties, they are conductive towards elemental magic, and there's potential for hazard. In fact, he
Okay.
remembers in his freshman year at Mage College, one of the instructors brought out various different materials that either nullified, were neutral to, or amplified the explosive force of his blasts. And he was particularly attentive in that lecture, and it has really stuck with him throughout his adventure years. All right, so over the course of a couple minutes, and of the 5 that you were going to wait, we'll say you throw a cart over, or throw one of these guys on the cart. We'll say you were even able to throw another one on the cart. So you got all the stuff together, and in the very short few minutes that you have been doing this,
Yeah.
as you said you were going to take no more than 5,
Yep.
we will say after about 2 minutes,
Uh-oh.
you start feeling a rumbling from beneath.
Rumbling from beneath.
From beneath.
Oh shit balls.
The sand
Yeah.
erupts around you.
This is gonna be a hoot.
And a really big one of these guys comes up.
Shows up. Mommy's mad.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the mama.
So
You guys are barbecuing my babies.
I got a quick question,
Henrik.
Bird.
Yeah.
So I just lugged that sack around. How far do I figure I could throw the sack in its current form?
In its current form, not very far.
Like not, I couldn't throw it a couple
I
squares
would
away.
say that you could probably within short range, which would be maybe 4 or 5 squares.
Okay, that works great. All right, so I still have my
But
yeah.
while this is going on,
Yeah.
you have been grabbed by a pincer.
Shit.
I get a chance. Can I still grab the bag?
And so what?
I still want to grab the bag if I can.
No, while you have the bags loaded, in the time that you were figuring out what to do, like you said, you were going to take about 5 minutes to
Yeah.
figure things out. Half that time went by. You were able to get the
Yeah,
things
yeah.
on the cart.
Yep.
And while you were doing that, you felt a rumbling and a
And
sudden burst behind you.
Yep.
And as it burst out through the ground, this large scorpion lobster looking thing,
Damn it,
grabs you in its pincer.
Who was on
And
lookout
it's
duty?
going to cause 6 damage to you.
Sorry.
Oh,
And you
It
are
appeared
grappled.
suddenly. It appeared suddenly.
It did. It was an ambush tactic.
all right. Freaking alertness helps me not. All right, cool. Is the bag still in reach while I'm grappled here?
You're grappled. It'll be very difficult for you to reach to it, but sure. It's with and yeah, I don't know. Give me a Kismet check when it's your turn.
All right.
Kismet is luck. Things that aren't really planned or explained that you want to happen in your favor. Roll to see if that happens. It's a stat that you can actually invest in. It's your protection from DM fiat. All right. So I've got your guys' initiative and I got his initiative.
Who's up?
He made his attack. I'm just going to go ahead and say that was his turn. So Adam, we're going to go with you, buddy.
All right. So this big monster is holding him in its pincer. Which pincer? Is it the pincer closest to me or the one furthest from me? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
there we go. So by way of background for Adam, if in case Bird, you already given background on big monsters?
Nope. He is a
All right.
virgin.
Oh, so this is a big monster. You can almost assume everything that occupies a 5-foot square is its own thing. Right.
Okay.
And so this thing can attack it's not a creature with like 3 action points. It's got a pincer that probably has some action points. It's got a head that has some action points. It has a stinger that has some action points. It has, like, think of it that way. And so we are either going to like have to tear off every single piece of this thing or find a way to take it out cleanly and quickly. Usually it's the head, unless it looks armored. And so we're trying to figure that kind of a thing out. There is some value in taking out parts because taking out the parts means that it can't use them against you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be thinking about those different aspects just a little bit.
Exactly what I was thinking about. I was trying to decide if I want to try to blast it in the head or if I want to go for that elbow on the pincer that's holding you in hopes that it drops you and you could run away.
I'm pretty happy in the pincer.
You have 3 actions to figure it out.
All right. Well,
you do you, man.
Because if you're in the pincer, I don't know the mechanics, but I'm assuming you're going to have disadvantages and stuff on attacks. You're going to be taking damage the whole time.
Yeah, I'd rather not be grappled. Like, I don't mind taking attacks. I do mind being grappled, I think. I don't know exactly what that means, but it doesn't sound good.
All right. I'm going to blast it in the head and hope that it drops you. Maybe I can distract it. Now, what I don't know is, will I get more damage out of the element blast or a burst? Like, I could throw...
You don't know.
So
would you like to make some kind of lore check or some kind of check to determine what this creature is, what its weaknesses are?
Yeah, whether it's armored. And just so you know, burst damage typically is nice in that you're hitting multiple parts all at once. But if it has armor and DR, then it tends to shrug it off. So there's that trade-off.
Okay. So I roll what, 1d12 then for...
How would you know what this creature is? Maybe your night skill?
You got a good question.
I do have a lore of 10.
You do. That's could be it. It's not really specific against monsters, so I would give you that check with disadvantage. Your night check, knights are all about slaying dragons and saving princesses. Maybe there's something in your night skill that could do it without disadvantage.
Okay.
I'll leave that up to you which one you want to try.
Well, I rolled a 7. My knight skill is 7, but my lore skill is 10. So with the
-2.
disadvantage on the knight
So you
scale,
win
I'm gonna
either way.
fail. Okay.
You identify this as a large scorpion, a giant dire Diablo scorpion, whatever it was that was written down. Um, it doesn't seem to have any particular elemental weaknesses. It does have acid that it attack on its mouth. It has a neurotoxin in its tail, and it's got pincers. What it likes to do is it likes to grab things with pincers, bring it in for a big old acid bite, stun it with its tail, and then dive with its captive.
Wow, that sounds really bad. Um,
I don't wanna.
yeah, I know you don't wanna.
I don't want to go out like that. I'm short.
So does
Play-
that answer my question at all about, if I want to use either one of the burst or the blast? I want to get the most bang for my buck here in terms of damage or maybe distracting it or
So here's another
whatever.
thing that you notice from your check. From what you've read about these scorpions, they're definitely um, they're designed to take on a full party. And since you don't have a full party, this one doesn't look like it's fully matured. So those plates that are all on it, they
Yeah.
look kind of soft and pliable. So maybe it doesn't have as much DR as some of the hardened, more the bigger versions that you've read about.
Okay. Well, I'm going to
So if you
use.
want to do more damage over an area, your
Yes.
area effect spell would be adequate.
Okay.
But
That's
as
cool.
far as like breaking it, like you probably want to do, like if you want to break that arm, you're going to want to focus on that arm.
I think I'm going to do the area effect. I'm going to try to drop it right between its shoulders there. So that
The
it's like
back, the
right on its
head, the
back. Yeah.
pincers.
Yes.
Again, don't be shy about dropping it on me too.
So if you get it right here, you can get both arms, its head, its body.
Bam. Let's do that then.
The tail looks like it's free and clear.
Okay. So I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5 out of what? 10.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a critical.
Okay. And then so that's 3d3, 2d3 plus
That's
2.
1d3.
Oh, 1d3
1d3 plus 2.
5 total.
So that's its head, its arm, and its arm, and its body. Okay. So it is going to resist some of that damage, but not as much as like a giant, the more hardened ones.
Hopefully that helps.
So that's 1, 2, 3. All of its hit zones are recorded. Damages applied to the appropriate zones.
All right. So I
That's
have
one
2 more.
action.
Can I do that same thing again?
Next round, one special attack per round.
One special attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
The special
so
ends
then-
up being your limitation. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. So then.
So what do you have in your arsenal that can be used as a normal or regular action?
I've got.
You threw a weapon
um,
earlier, right?
I did. I have a spear, so I could throw the spear.
Do you want to move closer? That's not a really going to be a ranged weapon. You can come to here within melee reach. You could hit this arm or its body,
I will go with the
or
body.
you could
'cause
maneuver closer to like.
I
get
don't
this
want to
arm.
be closer. I'm the support guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Leave yourself the option to leave. Like,
Yeah, I
make
need
sure-
a fleeing option.
However many points you've got, make sure your last action is to move the hell away.
All right, yeah. So the
Don't stick around.
pincer, I don't think I damaged, right? Just the arm. Those are 2 different parts of its body, I'm assuming.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
arms.
Okay,
Each
I'm
one
gonna
is
go.
separate.
I'm gonna go for the body because I've already damaged it. So maybe I can get some kind of cumulative damage going here or something. And
You've
I
done damage
roll-
on this arm as well.
Oh well, then I'll do the. Well, yeah, but there's vital
You
organs.
got
in
both
the
arms,
body.
the head, and the body.
Okay, I'm gonna do the body. And I rolled a 5.
Out
I don't
of
think out of for my spear, I've got
your melee.
my melee is 8. Do I get the pack
That's a
tactics
hit.
bonus?
No. Henry gets benefit of your pack tactics, but you don't, unfortunately.
Oh, I do have something called telling blow.
That would do you. Let's see. What is it? Telling blow.
Telling blow is
Where did you pick that up?
I was on a sheet.
Oh, I'm looking
Targets
at
you
his. I'm looking
wound.
at Henrik's. My bad.
Oh yeah. Okay. If he gets a wound, disadvantage to stay conscious. That's good. So we need to put some wounds on this thing. So
Okay.
so fundamentally, Adam, what we need to do is we need to hurt a part of it until all the boxes fill up once, and then hurt it some more to put that second hatch on them and start giving it wounds.
Okay.
Right. So basically, we
Then
got to
it'll
wear it
take
down
advantage
and then
to
put the hurt on it.
All right. Well,
disadvantage to stay conscious.
okay. Cool. So I think I succeeded in hitting it. I rolled damage it, right?
Relevant information for you, Henrik. 3
Yes, sir.
actions.
So I'm grappled, and I don't really know what that means. Can you tell me what that means? What's the net
You're
impact
grappled,
here?
so you are going to be at a massive disadvantage to swing your weapon.
But that's what I do is I swing weapons. So
So you might want to try to break the grapple.
how do I break grapple? What's that involve?
Athletics.
Probably cussing.
If it's cussing, I could do a really good job of it, but it's athletics. I'm an old fart and I got a freaking 4 in athletics. This is not going to go anywhere. Well, first I'm going to beat on it. I'm going to see if that works.
Okay.
Second,
What are you beating on?
I'm going to beat on the arm that's got me, right? I'm going to try and crack myself out of this grip.
Okay, so you're going to be at disadvantage for trying to engage in combat with a weapon,
Sure.
and yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'm going to use can I even use backswing?
Yeah, you can try.
All right. So I'm trying to give myself 2 attacks against this thing. Or actually, I have a different question. Can I reach its head from where I'm at?
You can.
All right. Screw all that. I'm going with stunning blow against the head. 1 and done. Let's see if this works. I have pack tactics, but disadvantage. So look, I rolled a 9. I have a
Evens
melee
out.
of 8. Pack tactics means I have a 7, but if I have disadvantage, I'm going to miss.
All right, so there's 1 action.
All right. Second, can I reach the damn bag of crystals?
It'll be tough. Give me a Kismet check.
Kismet check. I will give you a Kismet check. I got a Kismet of 4. I rolled a 5. I think they're out of reach. That's a bummer. I'm going to be trying that trick again later if I can.
Unfortunately, your shield arm is pinned within the pincers, and
Yeah.
you've got your hammer in the other hand. So it would be more of a logistics
Alright.
issue. If you wanted to drop your hammer, you might be able to try.
Okay. And then, so my last, well, I don't know how many action points I've spent so far. So now I'm going to try and bust out if I can. Can I still try to bust out of the grapple?
So how you did the hammer?
I did the stunning blow.
Uh-huh.
I rolled a Kismet check.
I'm not going to count that against you.
Okay. So now I'm going to try and break free now that I've whiffed. Just roll athletics and go for it.
Sure. Unless
Okay.
you can think of something else that might.
Well, if I was a smart dwarf, I'd try to find some way to wedge the huge ass handle from this giant hammer into the pincers to lever them open to get myself out. Like that's my role playing idea to get the hell out of here.
Seems like a good idea.
What would be the cost of that? You would drop your hammer if you failed?
Well, I sure as I can attack with it. Yeah, I mean, if I fail, it probably clatters to the ground, kind of thing, out of reach, fumble it, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you advantage on your athletics check, and if you fail, you drop your hammer.
All right. That works. Give this a shot.
I might have to find a new mentor, I think.
Yeah, you might, but not today, baby. Because that's a 3 with advantage. That makes it a 1. An athletics of 4. That's a crit.
Sounds
Bam.
good. So you are free and clear.
Run.
I almost had some crab. All right. So I've spent 2 of my points.
You have.
I'm already in the right stance. And my only option here is a normal. I can reach its head.
Can reach its head or its hand.
I'm gonna pound it in the head. I don't like getting snagged. That was a 12,
Okay, so
which would
you
be
go
a
to swing
10.
and you pound sand.
Yeah.
Skadoosh. It kind of, you feel like it might have even crystallized a little bit underneath of your hammer. It was such a mighty blow that
A mighty
completely
whiff.
whiffed.
Yeah. It's a freaking mighty wind I passed from being
Scorpion.
close. Oh no. All right.
Henrik. Oh man, that sucks. All right.
I know what I should have done, but
Should have ran.
nah, running's not an
He
option. This is
crits on you, my friend, and
Oh,
his
that
critical
is-
effect is grapple.
no.
He does 1, 2, 3 damage to you and grapples you again.
If I parry the damage, can I not be grappled?
No, you're still gonna get grappled because that's his critical effect. But yeah, you can totally parry the damage.
I think
I don't know. If I tell you what, if you crit on this parry check, I'll say you avoid the grapple.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna parry. I don't want to be grappled. I was just in those claws. That's a 2 on the die,
Very nice.
which is a lot lower than my melee of 8.
All right. So roll your damage. Your hammer
Oh.
damage, 2d3.
What if I could just keep the die up here? All right, that's max. So that's 3 plus. Well, 3 already covers me, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So you successfully parry and dodge what would have been a critical hit and another grapple attempt.
Nice job,
Adam, you are
Henrik.
not
Yeah.
quite so lucky. You have been
Oh, shit.
attacked with a grapple from this arm.
Well, shit.
You
I
are going to
told
take
you to back
7. No, not
up.
7 damage. That's wrong. You're going to take 4 damage, and
4
you will be
damage.
grappled unless you can think of something really cool to get out of that.
Well, I've got parry. I could try that.
There you
It'll
go.
work for my friend, right?
He's got that spear.
And I do have the spear. So let me try the parry first. So I roll a 6 out of where is parry against? Reflex?
Melee.
No,
I
that'll
think.
be your melee.
Okay, it's 6 out of 8.
Okay, so you're able to lessen the damage, but you still get caught in the claw.
Okay. I've damaged this claw, right?
You have.
Yeah. Well, I'm holding the spear. So I'm
So roll
going
your
to-
damage. That'll be 2d3, I believe.
Yeah.
As long as
Actually-
you get 4 damage.
I think what I'm gonna do is yeah, because I can still cast after this, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
It might be a
So-
disadvantage.
So
Oh,
wrap
wait.
things up by rolling the damage from your parry, so you can see how much
5.
of that you blocked. All
Okay,
right.
you roll 5 damage, so you were able to ignore the damage, but he still gets a hold of you.
Oh, and I've got that reaving thing, right? So he's gonna share damage with me.
No, your reaction is to parry this time. If you
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
share the blood curse, then you would have taken the damage and shared it with him.
Well, I'd rather not get grabbed, but I got grabbed anyway. So
You did.
I would have tried that first. Okay. Yeah. So then I've got 1 action left.
It's not your turn yet. It's still his turn.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
he has picked you up, and while he's picked you up, he is going to bring you close to his mouth for a bite,
Okay.
and it's a big bite. It is 2,
Can you parry again?
5 damage. You're going to take 5 damage, and this is going to ignore all of your damage reduction because it is acidic in its nature.
What I you know what I'm thinking about doing is trying to lodge the spear in its mouth.
If you had another reaction, I would let you do that.
Yeah. 5 damage. I'm documenting my damage here.
Henrik.
Yeah.
The tail reaches by down and stings you
No,
It's going to do 1 point of damage,
I
and
don't
you
like it.
are going to be stunned.
Okay,
Stunning.
stun means, do I get a roll to resist the stun or anything like that?
Now, I believe you're a dwarf,
I am a dwarf.
and you have hardy constitution, which
I do.
gives you
Resist poison and
resistance to
disease.
poison.
Yeah.
So what is your tenacity? It's a 10, so that's a 5. So I'm going to. Yep. All right. So instead of stunning you for 2 actions, it only stuns you for 1. You are
Okay.
able to successfully resist that poison, but
Okay.
it still has a lingering effect of 1 stun damage or one action of your turn.
Got it.
And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, and then it is going to, with Adam in its claw, try to disappear.
What the what now?
Yeah.
Well,
So
shit. You're gonna need a new apprentice.
he buries it. He starts digging into the sand with his move actions, and Adam goes down with the ship.
What the fudge?
Adam, on your turn, you are fighting to keep sand out of your mouth as you plummet deeper and deeper. Give me a tenacity check.
Tenacity check is a 12, right? D12.
Yeah.
Tenacity. Oh fuck. My tenacity is a 5, and I rolled a 10. So that's not good.
All right. So you are feeling a little dizzy and disoriented. It takes you an action to get a hold of yourself. It's going to take you another action to get a hold of yourself. And unfortunately, and now you have 1 action left to move with. He has freed you from the pincer, but you are underground.
just
What do
stuck
you
him in
do
the
with your
sand?
1 action?
Can I do anything cool here? Let me see. So he's let me go,
He lets you go,
and I'm buried in the sand,
and
basically.
you are buried in the sand.
I'm gonna, I guess, try to dig my way out.
Sounds like a viable choice. Give me some athletics checks.
My athletics check is fuck. It's a 12 out of 4.
Oh,
All right, you are not able to make any
This is
headway this
looking-
round.
It's looking bleak
Alright.
for our hero.
Where'd my apprentice go? I'm
But you
looking.
didn't take any damage. Seems like he's just going to let you ferment there in the sands.
Okay.
Where did this guy go, Bird? Where'd my apprentice go?
I don't know, but it's your turn.
But seriously, where'd he go?
I don't know. How would you find him?
So I am down at
One
least one
action.
action. I only have 1 action left because I used a reaction. So I borrowed from this turn already. All right, he stunned me for 1, so I have 1 action left. I got to do my best to find my apprentice and rescue his ass. But from what
No,
I
you
can
should
tell,
climb on the rock and get the safety, because you can't save me if you get killed. You got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help
I
somebody
hear you.
else.
I hear you. I'm still trying to establish the scene. What did I see happen? Did the thing like just disappear straight down into the dirt?
Yep.
Did it go forward at all? It just went.
It went straight down.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
The next done. It's chili.
Oh, I love chili, but I'm kind of busy right now. I'll be down in a little bit.
All right. I am potentially, since he's not here to see it, I'm going to be far more sentimental than I would if there were witnesses. I'm going to go to the last place where I saw my apprentice, and I'm going to stick the handle of my hammer into the sand, trying to see if I end up like finding him. You there, Adam?
I don't
Okay.
even know if I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
While you're digging around in the sand,
Damn
It just gets worse.
it. Yeah, it comes back.
give me a kismet check.
Damn it. I had one other idea of what I was going to do.
Adam, give me a kismet check.
Okay. My kismet is
Ah,
6,
ah.
and I'm rolling. Oh, I rolled a 2 out of 6.
All right. So the earth starts shaking around you. You obviously can't see anything. You've got sand everywhere. but this earth that's moving underneath you displaces you, and you hit your head on something solid and short that feels like a handle.
I'm gonna grab it.
You grab it
And try to pull myself up.
on your turn. All right, Henrik,
Yeah.
this thing bursts from the ground behind you. And
yay.
that action, it only leaves or takes up a lot of its actions to do that. So it's going to take a swipe at you. But
Okay.
unfortunately, it's going to miss.
Yay for me.
And now we're back to Adam. Adam, you have your hand on a handle and you are covered in sand. It is surrounding and pressing all on you. You are fighting you didn't take a breath before it happened. You're in bad sorts, but you were able to spend your entire action last time trying to get some semblance of your bearings underground.
Okay.
When you got this hammer and you got this handle that you grabbed onto. So
Okay,
what are you doing? How does
I'm
this look
gonna
like? How are you
try to-
pulling out?
I'm gonna try to, wiggle as much as I can, pushing myself up and pulling on the hammer and try to get out of this.
Okay. I'm going to give you advantage on your athletics.
All right. Well, let's hope that they're pretty good. My athletics suck. They're a 4. I rolled a 9.
Henrik, feels like you got a fish on the line
I got fish on the line, and I've got a beastie behind me.
and a BC behind you.
So would shield wall actually work for me in this situation if I put the shield between me and it, or is it not
Sure.
likely to actually help me?
I won't say it wouldn't help you.
I think I feel better about my chances not using shield wall. So I'm going to wait. This is a turn where I have all my actions, right?
You do.
Okay. So I know where Adam's at. Oh, I'm gonna make it worse for him. Shit.
Do it. Do it anyway.
I don't necessarily want to be right next to this beast. So I'm guessing I feel resistance. I'm gonna be pulling up on the hammer, but at the same time, I'm moving to pivot to the other side. So I'm trying to get on the other side, move the H, left 2 squares kind of thing.
Wait, go up and left.
Just left.
Okay.
So I
One
don't really
move.
want to be. I don't want to be next to the beastie, and I'm trying to get him up. I'm pulling. Hold on.
So athletics,
I guess so.
you're gonna have disadvantage because he's buried.
What else can I do? Well, I risk hitting him. I wonder if I should use my shield to dig instead.
Okay.
Can I
seems
I can
slower.
maneuver the shield with one hand, with one arm?
Sure. What
Okay.
I would say you would be doing would be giving him an 8 action to dig himself out. So you will be granting him
Yeah.
advantage from
So- right.
the shield, and you would also be granting him advantage from your hammer. So you would be giving him 2 sets of advantage to dig himself out on his
All
turn.
right. I'm happy to use, if I still have an action point left, I'll be happy to use it with goad allies. Like, get up, move on.
Okay, so Adam, he has given you his 3rd action, and he is granting you 2 forms of advantage to climb up. So what
Okay.
you do with that action, I will not dictate take away from your player agency, but he is trying to help you out of the hole.
Well, I'm trying to get out of the hole because I can't. Nothing else is gonna matter. So
So
yeah.
2 advantage, you're going to be a -4 to whatever you roll, which is good.
Okay, so
You
I
want
rolled.
that.
The total is 4 then.
Okay, 4 out of
4.
4 out of 4, you're able to get up. You find yourself
Woo! Thank you, Heinrich. You
on the right
saved me.
side of the wrong ground.
We're
But,
not safe yet.
You come up, you take a deep breath of air, spit out some sand, roll over, and this guy's going to start attacking you.
out of the frying pan into the fryer.
He's going to move forward with one of his actions.
Hold on a
He's
second.
going to try to grab both
Bird?
of you.
One sec. Did Adam use all of his actions because it was his
He
turn?
did because he was
Oh, it's not his
submerged.
turn. This is my turn. He already did his
Yeah,
turn.
you
So he
just
only
used
had
your third
one
action.
action. All right. So I uncovered you just in time to get attacked. Okay, perfect.
Yes. What,
Probably
it's
should've
better
left
than
him buried.
suffocating in the sand. I don't
Should have
know.
left you in the sand.
One attack on Adam. One attack on
Oh,
Henrik. So Adam, he misses you. He misses
Great.
you, man. He misses you a
that's
lot.
good.
He
Thank
misses
goodness.
you on 11 on the die.
Meat on a
Henrik,
stick in the sand. All right.
not nearly as successful. You've got a 3 on against you, which is a crit, which means
It's, back to grapple land.
back to grapple
Son of a
land.
bitch.
And as feisty as you've been, he doesn't like that. He's going to take his tail. Oh, my shoes. Okay. He's going to take his tail and sting you again. And he critically rolled that. So even with your hardy constitution from your
Yeah.
dwarf and all the massive penalties he's taken to try to get this poison off, yeah, you will be stunned for 2 rounds or 2 actions. Sorry.
2 actions done. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dwarven resilience just
Is being
really,
taxed.
it was pushed to its max. Just
Yeah.
he got by you by 1. And that's with all of your resiliency and your maxed out tenacity. Like it was a 1 in a million shot.
No,
He got
bueno. Okay.
So that's his 2 actions. And seeing that you kind of go a little bit limp in his hand, he's going to bite at Adam.
No, you
And
rat
he's going to
bastard.
get a 1.
Damn.
Oh,
Can I try to parry
So
against the
big
bite?
attack, big dice, big numbers. That's going to be a 6 and a 2. That's an 8. It's acid damage, so it will bypass your damage reduction.
can he parry? He was asking about parry bird.
Yes, you may. You may parry.
All right. I roll a 2 to parry
Okay.
out of. Let me find out what that is out of. Yeah, 8.
Okay.
That's good.
So roll your damage. You're trying to lessen it by
Yeah.
whatever you roll. You've
Roll
got
as
an 8
high as you
looking
can.
against you.
1d3.
It should be 2d3.
Okay, then that's 4.
All right. So you're only going to take 4 of that damage then. It is acid, so it will go through, still bypass your damage reduction, but you've essentially lessened the blow by half.
Okay.
So there's no crit effect on that parry bird.
No, only if you're trying to do something crazy like
So
break a grapple.
is
Okay.
the parry, is that an action or a reaction?
That's a reaction. So that'll take an action from your next turn.
So
Okay,
you've effectively spent one of your points for next turn.
I see. Okay.
By acting on its turn. So with that said, now it is your turn. You have 2 actions.
Yeah.
Blow this thing up already.
All right. I'm in.
And you see me gesticulating to like it's towards its back a little bit on the right side.
Are you pointing towards this cart?
I'm pointing towards the sacks on the cart.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna blast the sacks on the cart, and we're either all gonna die.
Tell me where your point of origin is going to be.
I like where you are because that would give us some damage on the creature itself, but also on that sack, right?
Sure.
The second sack, and maybe I can get some double boom here, right? That's what I'm hoping for.
Yep. So roll it.
Okay. I roll a 7 out of
Don't
range
hold back,
is
long
an
shanks.
8. 7 out of 8. So I hit.
Okay. So roll some damage.
Damage is gonna be what's the damage on this one again?
Light damage.
Light damage. Is that 1d3?
Yeah.
3.
All
Or
right.
2.
So
It's
do
a
you
2.
do
Sorry.
this
looking at the wrong thing.
force effect comes out, it goes, and then you hear this sizzle pop, and then this bag explodes and it is no longer in play. And that effect, you said you did 3 damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it was triple effective.
Wow.
from whatever
Well-
I can tell you. Little shards of earth crystals go flying, embedding into this armor. This is gonna be fun. I hope I did this right.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it didn't work.
That's pretty cool.
All right, here's where. So this is gonna take me just a second. So bear with me. I thought I had this grouped as like multiple times.
Oh man, look at that.
You see me
Hell yeah.
scars full of the crystals are just jagging into the meat. The armor plates have just gone in multiple different directions. This thing just looks like it has seen a bad day.
Okay.
What do you do with your other two actions?
Is this, it's still alive, right?
Well, your other one action.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna shoot the other bag, and let's see if we can finish it off.
You've only got one special action per turn.
Well, shit. And then I guess I'm gonna try to take my spear and shove it into its eye. Oh wait,
Run!
is-
I've
You
been
think I should
screaming
run?
run, but I was
no,
muted.
I'm gonna try to keep you alive. You just saved my life. I'm gonna try to save yours. So, I've got this other thing I can do called charge shot or charge breaker. Attack the foes that enter reach.
Yeah, that's gonna be more of a reaction.
Oh, okay. I've got a pole vault
You can
action.
hit its head. Yeah, you could pole vault onto its body and continue to stab it. Or
That's
you
what I
could
was thinking
start
about
taking
doing.
out some of these other attacks that it has.
Well, I'm wondering if I would be able to do more damage
Oh.
to his exposed body.
I can't
Then-
give you an answer to that.
That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna pole vault onto its back and stab the shit out of it. That's
I
what
will
I'm gonna
say, just again, I don't want to take away your agency.
Yeah.
You see Henrik in a damaged claw.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Again, I don't want to take away from what you want to
No,
do.
that's
I just
good
want to
to know.
remind you of the scene.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll attack that claw. Maybe I can get him free.
Okay.
All right. So I roll a 4 out of 8.
Okay.
It's a crit.
Fantastic. And then
Damage.
would this be a good time to use that?
You have a crit
Telling
effect,
blow.
right?
Yeah, the telling blow.
Does it how does that work exactly again?
It does. I'll tell you.
First point, is it wound or is it disadvantage? Is it passive or passive?
It's passive.
Yeah, it's passive. It says targets you wound have disadvantage to stay conscious.
Okay, so you don't even need to roll for that. That's just a thing.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so I roll damage for this spear attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is 1d3, correct?
2d3.
2d3. That would
I'm
be
pretty
a-
sure. Let me double check because I've got your character sheet up here somewhere. I don't want to be telling you wrong. It should be written. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. 2d3 melee rate reach.
4 total.
4 total. Man, that blows. Okay. 4 total. I'm taking it. It is now going to be Henrik's turn.
So that spear has reach, which means technically he could be 1 square back, right?
He could be, but he actually still hasn't even stood up off the ground.
Okay.
He
I'm
was
letting you know.
like kind of collapsed in the heat. He rolled over. The huge scorpion made an attack at him, but because he's on the ground, he was at disadvantage. He missed it totally. And from his back, he cast a firebolt, whatever it was.
Force burst. Yep.
Blew the back right off of this thing, and also from the ground tried to stab at the arm that's holding you.
Okay.
That's pretty heroic.
It looks super effective, and that
It-
arm looks
it
like it's
does.
barely hanging on by, connected tissue and sinew.
So I've got disadvantage, but I think I am going to try to knock this arm off with a backswing so I can get 2 attacks out of it. So I'm gonna give that a shot first. I don't think I'm down any of my action points yet.
So disadvantage from being grappled, advantage from
Yep.
pack tactics.
Yep.
So it's a wash. What do you
Alright.
got?
So that's 1 whiff and 1 crit.
How much damage do you do?
Let's see, 2d3. So that is 2 and 2. So 4 damage. And I don't know if Bell Ringer works against attacking a claw.
Nope.
So there
So
you go.
this claw is around your waist, but it completely detaches from the creature.
Okay.
Ha! Have at you.
Awesome. So I'm wondering. Oh no, that's not. That's for next time. I can't do that right now.
So that's
It's-
one action. Did you use any reactions last turn?
No, because
No, you were stunned too. So that's your turn. So you shook off
Oh,
the
that's right.
stun just enough to do that backswing.
I got my
But I
one
guess
attack
you were
and I'm
still a
done.
little bit foggy, so you missed that first one. But the second one takes the arm off. Like again, it was hanging on by like just some connective tissue and sinew.
Yeah.
And you took your bludgeon and just like smacked that stump
So I hate to
or
make the
smacked it
situation
right out of the body. So
What are
it
the
is still
rule-
connected to your waist, but detached from the monster itself. This
So I
thing
might
is
be.
not looking good.
I might make my situation worse here, but given I was stunned, does that mess with my concentration effects?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
would
your
you bring that
concentration
up?
effects up. No, it
So
does. Like
does
I'm
it-
not. I haven't even been counted against you.
Does it auto interrupt them? Does it mean I have
Yeah.
to roll?
It means you're gonna have to reestablish connect or concentration.
Okay, so okay, well then
I'm
I'm
sorry.
done.
I should have told you that at the beginning of your turn.
It's okay.
I've been blown up a lot. I've missed details sometimes.
It's all right. I'm good. I'm sitting here with a claw hanging onto my waist like a bloody belt.
We should totally barbecue that thing later.
Oh, we are so gonna eat it. It's gonna be good.
So I'm going to. All right. I rolled an as the world turns. Tell me how you guys finish this creature. There's really like it's just going to be a war of attrition. It can't dive anymore. You've broken its body. It can't effectively run away. It's just going to be a matter of taking attacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3, 4. Everyone's going to take 5 damage.
I can do that.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Who's left
4,
standing?
5.
Now, that is my 10th point of damage. So I've got 1 mark in every box now.
You also
So you're
have
not double crossing anything. You're not taking any wounds yet.
I haven't, no.
Okay.
Also,
Adam-
somewhere in there, I would have tried to use that blood curse Reeve thing. And
Yeah,
get
I would have
some-
done the same thing.
So
Coming
we'll
up
say
here.
that Henrik, you still got health points left.
Yeah, I still have 5 left.
All
So
right, so you guys effectively take this monster down. The only reason I'm calling it is because I pretty much saw it was wrapping up that way, and we've kind of gone over time. Tell me how you finish this fight. Like it gets a couple attacks, but you get a couple attacks. I heard a blood curse was thrown at some point.
Yeah.
Which just continue. Like as soon as you did that blood curse, you know, like the head of this monster basically just kind of caved in. Like it's just not standing very well. Like it was already bruised and battered. You completely took out the head. It wasn't after that blood curse. It was no longer able to attack with its mouth.
Awesome.
So you just had the claw and the pincer were smacking at you, and
I think if we were smart, we would stay on this end. Oh, the tail can reach us no matter what, right?
Yeah, I was thinking the smart thing to do
yeah,
would
that's
probably
what I
be
said.
stand back
You guys
and
took
blast
some
it from a
damage, did
distance.
some damage, but you guys defeated the creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
you-
say, probably stand back, shoot it with the blast, and just wear it down if it can't do anything.
Just shoot it in the head and I'll just keep taking the hits, right? If it can't dive anymore, I don't care if it gets me with a claw kind of thing.
And that's
Okay.
exactly what happens. You guys are able to effectively defeat this monster. You do know that 2 of the little babies got away, but they looked like they were just barely hanging on. And as the blood soaks this sand, they do not show up. Like they don't want none of this.
Hmm,
All right.
right.
So
Well,
we will
I-
end the encounter and go into discussion mode if that's okay with you guys.
Well, I want
Yeah.
good eating.
Yeah.
I want some barbecue, scorpion, lobster, whatever this is.
We should
Yeah, you
drag the
could probably
carcass
harvest some
back
of
to
the
the
plates,
town.
make some nice scorpion armor out of it.
Yeah.
We should
Maybe
take the
harvest
carcass
the
back to
tail
the tent
intact,
with that other
get some
bag.
poisoning attack. I don't know.
Yeah.
All kinds of goodies.
Carve the
We-
whole tail off and just throw it on top of the cart.
We salvaged that bag too, right? Because we didn't blow up
Yeah.
the second bag.
Just yeah, there was one in the cart, and there was another one that was in the sand that you got. This one got blown up though; it's gone.
Right. Yeah.
That's
I was thinking
toast.
about what we could take back. We should take back some of the carcass and show it off with the crystals and be like, look at this. We get a
Yeah,
scorpion
all that
feast in the
is
town.
100% a thing that you guys can do. So let's talk about the encounter. What went well? What could have gone better? Do you guys feel that you honored what you set out to do and how you set out to play? Did the character play the way that you felt it was going to?
I thought so. Obviously don't know the mechanics well enough to probably take full advantage of the character. And I had to ask a lot of questions, but I thought the play was smooth.
Yeah, I think nothing too complicated here from our perspective, and it went by the book, which means it went to shit and we still survived.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Plus, it was it was nice that there was some danger. I didn't feel like we just walked through the encounter. There were times where you were like, "Oh man, we could really get smoked here."
Yeah, buried in the sand. Oh crap.
Yeah, grappled multiple times. So it had some elements of where you were unsure about what was going to happen, and I think that's always good. It's no fun when you just walk through the encounter and crush everything in your path.
How'd you feel about needing to tag multiple zones on the monster? Like it having its own zones, its own hit points, its own separate attactions or attack actions.
I've always kind of liked that damage by location and it having independent actions in those areas. I thought was a cool feature.
Bird, did this thing have legs to attack per se?
No,
Not really.
I mean, that's just part of the body. It's how it moves
Okay.
and how it dies.
Just curious.
When you blew off the back part, that took off its dive attack.
I like the fact that it changed the way the combat worked as the creature was disassembled a little bit. So it made it more dynamic, I think.
Good. I'm definitely glad for that.
I definitely like the way the creature is able to use terrain to its own advantage in a way that we could not.
Yes.
Right? Like effectively it had access to a third dimension that we didn't, which is great for like just disappearing. And that also was its own hazard for the players. Like it could not be present and we could still be like actively not just in danger, but suffering as a result.
Yeah, the I was unsure about what would happen to me if I was buried in the sand. I assumed that I would suffocate and die. So if you're going to run it again, maybe specify, what might happen to the character if they're
So I
buried
definitely
like that.
have a list of what would have happened, and it would have taken you a long time to suffocate. It's not like an instant suffocation. You would have eventually been able to crawl your way out, but if not, yeah, you'd have just started taking some wound damage, and every 5 boxes of wound damage, everything would be a disadvantage. Eventually, you'd die under the sand, and it would come back and it would eat your body. If Hendrik was able to get you out, you would have those exhaustion levels carrying forward until you're able to rest.
Okay. The other thing I wasn't sure about, and I didn't ask, it was my fault, was the size of the creature versus this raised area behind me, because there was a time where I thought maybe if I get up there, it won't be able to reach me as easily. But then I thought it might just climb up the rock after me.
It
so I
totally would have
didn't
just
do that.
climbed up the rock after you.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been able to dive with you guys.
Yeah, so we could have tactically, if we pissed it off, retreated, and got it on the rock, we could have taken away one of its maneuvers, so to speak. right?
Yeah. So next time we would know that.
Yeah.
But
Or write it down
overall,
in a
I thought
ledger.
it was, yeah, lessons learned fighting giant scorpions.
Charge fees. Change the story next time we tell it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to vary the damage. Like the head did the heaviest amount of damage that bypassed the DR, but it's also the easiest to maneuver away from if you wanted to. The claws did medium damage and grappled. That's their big threat. Is they once they get you grappled, they bring you in line with the mouth. But if you had tried to attack it from different sides, it still would have been able to get at you, but it would have been a little bit tougher to pull that off. And then the tail did the least amount of damage, but it had that stun effect and the greatest reach of all of them. So I tried to balance the different types of attacks that it could do between straight damage, status, be it grapple or stun. Do you
Could
think
we?
that worked out pretty well?
Oh, I thought it. Yeah, I thought you played it
Yeah.
pretty well.
I think a larger crew would have seen more of that come up, right? With two guys and one always potentially helping the other, we're going to be next to each other a lot of the time. With a third person potentially on the far side, we might have been able to split up its attacks, like soak the damage by spreading it out more. Maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
essentially just with the two of you, I have its hit points and lowered its DR by 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt like you nursed it a little bit for us because with the size.
But that's okay.
And
I don't mind doing that because I wanted you to feel challenged but not overwhelmed. Like
and
would have
that's
been
Henrik had a
dead.
dragon fight a couple weeks ago. Like there was no way they were going to survive that. They were able to
Ooh.
effectively drive it off, but that was it. Like that was essentially a raid monster. It would have taken like 3 or 4 parties to take that thing down.
mm.
Yeah.
And I would assume if we had a bigger party that was more spread out, or we were trying to encircle this thing or whatever, it would have multiple attacks going in different directions. Potentially you could attack somebody with the tail, somebody else with a claw, somebody different with a different claw, maybe a bite attack on somebody different. You do that burrowing thing.
And it can summon like 1d6 minus 1 of its minions. I rolled and got 4 of them, and I went ahead and throw them at you at first because I wanted to give you kind of an introduction to combat to see how it works before I pull out the big gun.
Mhm.
But yeah, you would have had to fight them all at once
I think if we would have had to
if
fight
there
all
was a
5
larger
of them at
party.
once, we would have died. Could we have
Yes.
disassembled the smaller ones is like we did the bigger one?
No, they just had a straight 10 hit points.
Okay.
Once they're busted, they're gone.
Okay. Gotcha.
The thing that I was rolling to see if them exploding under your bludgeoning hammer would have caused their venom sacs to burst and spray you.
Oh,
It didn't.
That
thanks a
sucked.
lot.
It didn't, but it was an option.
Yeah. Right. What size of a creature in this system does it need to be before you have this damage by location thing going on?
I've played around with a couple different things. Like it could be as simple as like a 4 square creature. I've got one character that don't tell Henrik because he hasn't run across it yet. It's a single humanoid who's got arms that are different creatures. Like there's demons. Like one arm is possessed by a demon, and that demon is a full character, but it's his arm.
Hmm. We
So
played around with that.
he occupies a 5-foot square, but there are 2 entities in that 5-foot square.
Oh, gotcha. We had a
Just
house
don't
rule
tell
like,
Henry.
that I mentioned where we were doing damage by location. We stole it from I think the game was BattleTech.
Yeah, that is an old game.
Yeah, we house ruled that kind of thing into. I was running a game and the player said, "Well, we want to do more realistic combat." And what if I just got hit in the arm, or what if I got hit in the leg? How do we know where the damage is? So we rolled that in, and it was kind of cool, but you ran the risk of being maimed or crippled, which added a different kind of component to combat. It really made you think about it. And maybe your primary arm is broken and you got to switch hands, or it made it a more difficult. But we stopped doing it when somebody got their leg cut off.
Yeah,
Then-
and that's the thing. I would never do that against players because I feel that even if you want it, like I think it kind of really interferes with your agency in a way that you don't really predict. It's like a great idea until it happens, and they're like, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
So I totally have that on my monsters. I wouldn't. I'd only offer it as an option to my players, and I would strongly caution them against it. But if you
Yeah.
wanted it, yeah, we could do it.
It did create something in the game where everyone was less anxious to jump into combat. It really made them consider, like, do we have another option here? Should we maybe approach this differently than just, oh, we're going to beat on it and see what happens? It made
Right.
combat more of a second choice or a third choice, which was kind of cool because it just was a different sort of game than what we were used to playing, where everybody's like, oh, roll for initiative, guns blazing, let's kick some ass.
Yeah, I try
It
to
was-
preserve as much of that as I can. Like I always want to offer options, and
and I always
depending on
like
how
options.
your social encounters go is whether it devolves into a combat encounter, or exploration. Like, hey, you see these guys, you could totally avoid them if you want, and I still
So-
give you full XP for fighting if you can avoid them or talk them down.
So something I was thinking about that you said you would allow me to do, and I would have appreciated that, had I got another opportunity to do it, was maybe disable its mouth with a spear, or try to.
Yeah,
Something like that, out of the box kind of possibility. So that was cool, having that kind of option instead of saying, nope, it's just what it is. And this, it's straight up combat and that's whatever. So I appreciated that kind of options in the play.
yeah, absolutely. I want to be fluid and as intuitive as possible. So what I would roll is like, make some kind of maneuver check to do that, and then, well, obviously you don't have your spear anymore. It's stuck in dude's mouth.
Right.
Or it would be something like that, or probably your rod would be a little bit better, more thematic. Or actually, I think it's on you. It's a gauntlet. Made a gauntlet so you could still wield a two-handed weapon.
Yeah, I do have a gun.
But yeah, you could do it. I want to lodge my gauntlet in its mouth. Like, okay, bam. The thing of that is it does have an acid bite,
Right.
so it would eventually bite through it. And then, but yeah, that would totally be a viable option. And on a different monster, that might be a complete game changer.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that, like, well, I know it's acidic. Is it going to be worth the trade-off of disabling its mouth for some period of time versus not having that weapon as available to me?
Yeah.
But you don't know, because you don't know. For me, like, I'd never fought this monster before, so I had no idea what it was going to take to defeat it. So it was like, do I really want to do that or not? But maybe, if you're facing immediate death, yeah, sure, let's do that. But if you're going to try to wear it down and you feel like you've got it in hand, then maybe you don't want to give up that weapon. But either way, it was nice to have the option available.
So as a newcomer to the system, how do you think it handled in general?
I thought it was good. I thought that it was smooth and it was easy. I like that there's not a million rules that you've got to reference to make something work. I felt like the stuff in the character sheet is just enough to get. It was more, there's things on my sheet I didn't even use, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like you needed a pile of books.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
wanted all of my powers to be designed that you absolutely know what they do, but then there's room. Like, well, why couldn't I do? If I could do this, could I do this? And the answer is yes, or the answer is maybe with disadvantage, but you could always try it. Good, yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I like that it was, it could be simple, or you could tweak it and say, oh, you know what, I want to use this effect that normally does this and maybe try to make it do this. And instead of it just being like, it's on the page like this and that's all it does. So I thought that was cool. I used to play White Wolf, Mage the Ascension, and the coolest part about that game obviously was the magic system, but it was very basic, and it was more about describing what you were intending to do and then rolling very similar to this. What kind of successes do you have? And then based on that, there's going to be an outcome that the storyteller or game master is going to determine. So I thought I always liked that kind of component about that game. And I think you've got a little bit of that going on here. And I thought that was really great.
Good deal. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks for showing up and killing my
thanks for having
monster
me.
and breaking him into pieces before you killed him. That was fun for me.
Yeah.
Designing him to have breakaway pieces.
Yeah. Thanks for being patient with me. I didn't
No,
have a chance to
absolutely. It
really
was a
get
pleasure.
through the documents. So,
Henrik, if you want to, you can stop the recording and we can keep gabbing, or you guys can